Welcome to the Light Your Dream Team monthly training call. I appreciate those that are on the call and look forward to those who will watch the recording later. Today is going to be kind of the second part of the fundraising methods that Sensations offers as a way to help groups and organizations, but also as a way for the distributor to earn income and expand our customer base. So last month we did the classic catalog fundraiser. And so a lot of things for tonight's training, which is going to be the custom label fundraiser, is going to be very similar to the catalog that we talked about last time. That training, as well as tonight's training, will be on our team training site. Hopefully you can see on the screen there, up in the address bar there, it says miabellatraining.com. And then I don't know why my mouse always does not work with these Zooms. Okay, so I'm on the home page, the welcome page of our team training site. And the way that you can find this information then about fundraising is to look for the fundraising tab. And then scroll down, here's the catalog fundraising, and then the custom label fundraiser. So how do data then? I have typed out the steps here for you. Now, of course, if you have questions, feel free to post them on our Light Your Dream Team Facebook discussion group. I'm so excited about the thread that we have going right now about those that are engaging in the activity of looking for and sponsoring and conducting fundraisers. So, the candle custom fundraising will go just right along with that. And I think you'll find that, most of the time you're going to be talking with groups about both options. You'll be presenting, the majority will do the catalog because it's less expensive for the group to get started with that. They don't have to have the funds up front. They take the orders from their supporters and then we place the order with the catalog. So the custom label fundraiser is a little different in that they do have to have the funds up front. So you'll get a lot of interest in both. And once you explain kind of the differences between the two, they may choose to either do just the catalog or just the custom label, or maybe do a combination of both. So a lot of the information will overflow and be very, very similar. So on the custom label fundraising here, again, there's a link for the fundraising group ideas. And as we've discussed, numerous ways of finding groups. And the one part I really like about the thread on the Facebook group is just the variety of groups that you guys are reaching out to. Honestly, I never really would have thought about sororities. But, I'm going to be doing a fundraiser with my daughter for her sorority. She happens to be the VP of philanthropy. So she's kind of in charge of raising funds for their cause. So every sorority is going to have some kind of philanthropy cause. And, usually in the fall, then they're going to have family weekends or different events where they'll be kind of featuring the sorority and then the group that they support. So we're actually going to do a custom label with her sorority logo on it. So I'm really excited about that. So I never really thought of that before, and then the rescue groups that you guys are mentioning. And of course, there's always the schools. That tends to be a more typical first thought, but, expand beyond that. And I think those that are sharing the different ideas that they're coming up with, and that's awesome to give others that idea. And, as we talked about last month, if you can just really make it a goal to contact 2 groups or organizations a day, 5 days a week. It seems like, well, can I do that? But it's only 2. And Allison's done a great job of showing us that once you get organized and you know what you're doing and you've got your kind of pre-written out script that you are emailing or private messaging to the groups or contacting them through their their websites, it doesn't take long then to kind of copy and paste that introduction letter into those emails or messages, and basically just asking, introducing yourself and saying, hey, we've got this great opportunity to help you raise funds for your organization. If you're interested in learning more about it, let's talk. It's not pushy, it's not aggressive, you're not spamming, because most of these groups and organizations, they're they're looking for funds and they're often looking for fundraisers. So if you can present to them something that will help them, they're going to be interested in reaching out to. So if you get yourself organized, get prepared, then set that goal of reaching out to 2 groups a day. And as those contacts start to increase, then it might get a little more complicated. So you want to keep track of what you're doing. So here we have the fundraising prospecting tracking sheet. And basically it's just an Excel sheet for you to keep track. If you aren't able to open up the Excel sheets because it's in a new version that doesn't allow you to open it, basically you're just typing in, who have you contacted? How did you contact them? Was it through a message? Was it you mailed a packet? Did you mail them the brochure? Do you have a name, a phone number, an email? And then, what the date? And then, you're going to follow up with them again. So kind of keep track of your initial contact, your follow-up contacts, and then what's the response? Did they ask for more information? Great. Mark that down, then move to the next step, making sure that you follow up with them. Once they've gotten either the email information from you or the mailed packet information, you want to be sure to follow up. That's the biggest thing that we have to keep doing in sales. It might seem like we're a little bit pushy, but that's the only way that in today's busy world, people are going to get caught up and they're going to get busy and they're going to forget that they asked you for help. But if you keep that perspective, what might seem to us like, oh, it's just been forever, that's just going to fly by. 2, 3, 4 days are going to fly by and they're not even going to realize that they haven't followed up with you. So you, as the professional fundraiser, need to keep track. Every 24 hours, you're doing something. You've sent your initial thing, they've responded, you've mailed out a packet. So, 3-4 days later, depending on where you've mailed it to, if you sent it to them by email, obviously you don't need to wait as long, but, follow up with them and just really take the approach that you are offering them an ability to help. You're not bugging them. You're not forcing them. You're not talking them into anything. You have an awesome opportunity to let them earn funds very quickly in a very short amount of time. And so that should be really exciting to the group. So they want to hear from you. Now we have these brand new Mia Bella custom label trifolds or brochures that can be ordered in your back office of the Centene site. They have a new category now under the ordering called sales tools. It used to be like other products, but now they have sales tools. And so you'll just look for the words, the custom label trifold. You get a packet of 25 beautiful high quality brochures for $11.95. So you need to get yourself some of these. You can hand them out, mail them out. Those of you that are doing vendor shows, have them available. Those that have your banners or signs out, letting them know that we do fundraisers. Ask a few questions, engage with your customers or those that are checking out the candles and see if there maybe is an opportunity to introduce the fundraising to them, and then hand them one of the brochures. So those are that's the picture of the front and then the inside of it. Okay, and then again, it's going to be dependent on whether you're meeting with the fundraising coordinators face to face, where you can bring them a packet of information, or whether you're just kind of sending them information through email. Now, the great thing is that, some of this information you can just attach, like the flyers that show the 15 different cents for the catalog, or the flyer basically explaining what Mia Bella candle fundraisers are. Those are, PDFs that you can attach to an email. So that's awesome. Or you can purchase the products, the marketing materials in the back office and mail them out. Now, with the custom label, they are not going to be selling necessarily the same 15 cents that the catalog lists out, but it's still a great idea to have the scent samples, which again, you can get in the back office very reasonably under the sales tools. And right now there is the 22 fall winter fundraising samples, a set of those 15 top selling winter holiday scents for just $17.95. Again, another great value. This is something that you're going to give to the coordinator to get them excited about it. And then you're going to leave it with them, because they may have a committee of others that they'll need to discuss the potential of doing fundraisers with, or they, maybe have a meeting where all of the participants, whether it's the kids or, other volunteers to the group, and they want to see and smell and get the information from the coordinator. So you're going to leave those scents with them. and you will be getting those back at the end of the fundraiser. Now, it's also a great idea if you can leave them with 1 to 2 of the 16-ounce jars that they can actually burn. And again, you want to try to use scents that they will be selling. I'll mention that here in a minute. Again, kind of when you are presenting the information, one of the biggest factors to get somebody excited is about how much money can they make. Now, with the custom label fundraiser, the group earns $8 per jar, just like the catalog. So that's a lot of money. You can see there, if you had, 50 participants and each of them only sold 10 candles, that's $8 profit. That's $4,000 to the group in like 2 weeks time. So, get them excited about how much money that they can make. We're not talking pennies and cents off buying a few, candy bars to support an organization. We're talking $8 a jar. And, of course, the fall holiday season is a really nice time for supporters to want to buy the product for the season. It's candle season, but also the holidays that are coming up. And of course, we burn it, we give them as gifts. Candles are the number one, the top gift giving items. So it's a great opportunity to get on this now, introduce the concept, start getting your fundraising booked and get them started so that they can take advantage of these scents. So one of the differences then between the custom label and the catalog is that they can pick the scent that they want to use. Okay, they won't be using 15 different scents. The initial order is a minimum of 12 jars. So they can pick one of the 15 from your scent samples, or if they want to pick something entirely different that's not in that grouping, they certainly can. So they can have all 12 of their custom labels be the same scent, all French vanilla, or if they want to do half French vanilla and half, hot apple pie, they can do whatever they want. They can pick multiple scents to go with that, but it is a minimum of 12 jars for that initial order. It is only on the 16-ounce jar. So as you know, we're really fading out the 9-ounce. I looked last night and we only have like 3 of the 9-ounce scents left anyways, but not on the 20-ounce jars. It's just available to the 16-ounce classic jar. Now, again, as I mentioned, this product has to be pre-ordered. It's not that they take orders and then we place the product order and then they pay us. The group does have to pay you up front for it. But the exciting thing is that it really makes a significant impact to the group using their own logo, their own picture, whatever symbol that represents the organization or the group. And they can pick the colors that they want. And then you, again, as the professional, can kind of help and give suggestions. They may already have some, print ready logo marketing materials that maybe they've used for brochures or, other aspects of their volunteering or group support. So you can certainly get some ideas from that. But, on a label, you always want to try to contrast the colors. So if you've got a dark background, you want to use a lighter font, a white on blue or something like that. So you can help them do that. Now, there is a one-time flat fee of $9.95 for the custom label design. If they have it basically print ready, if they have their own idea, their own design, and they're basically giving you a picture that fits one of the formats, then it's just a $9.95 for the first order. Now they could order again immediately, they could order in a couple months, and that $9.95 is not charged again, just one time to get it set up in the label machine and get them printing out. Now, if you or they don't have the skills or they don't have some previous marketing materials, the printer will help design something. Basically, you just give them the ideas of what you want and they'll come up with something for you. And that is a $25 fee. Again, that one also is kept on file. Now, once you've kind of got the label design with the group worked out, you are going to go to miabellaprinting.com under the custom jar label. And you'll need to decide, are you doing the $9.95 design or the help with the design for the 25. There'll be two different kind of entries into that. And the screen will walk you through exactly what you need to do. You're basically going to just upload the file, and they're gonna look at it and give you a proof of the label back to you within a couple of days. And you'll want to look at it, get with the coordinator of the group, get their final approval and say, yep, this looks great. This is what we want to do. You'll let the printer know that. So basically you'll place your order by paying the $9.95, and they're going to give you an order number. Now that is something that you want to keep track of, because now you're going to go to Sensations and make your product order, that minimum of 12 jars. Now you don't do this in your back office. Okay. You can either email to labels@scent-team.com or call the company with the custom label order number that you got from the printer and your order. How many jars are you doing? Just the 12? Are you doing 24, 48? How many jars and what scents? Now there is a $1.25 charge per jar handling fee, because basically what the company has to do, they pour, hundreds of a single scent, and then when you've picked one of those scents, say, Christmas pine, they're actually going to need to remove the standard label and then apply your custom label. So there is a small handling fee for doing that. The jar itself is the same wholesale price of $12.25 for the auto ship distributor. There's no additional cost to the wholesale price of doing these custom labels, just that $1.25 handling fee. And specials do not apply. So unfortunately with this one, you can't do the buy 11 jars, get one free that the company will often have, which you can do with the catalog fundraisers. But with this one, those specials are not going to be available. And then there is Mike Siccozo's email address. If you have any questions, he's kind of in charge of doing the custom labels. So he can certainly help you, or, first come to Allison and I, and we'll do what we can to help you if you have any questions and kind of walk you through things. But if there's something that we just need to ask specifically of him, we can certainly do that. Now, again, you're not going to be using the order form or the brochure that you're using for the catalog, where it lists out boxes that give the supporters an opportunity to put in their name and contact information and how many jars and what they want to order. So again, that custom label order form that you see there is basically just an Excel sheet that, let's see if I can open it and if you can see it. But you can create something all on your own, but this is just kind of an example where you could put the picture of the scent that they're picking, the label, and then you can see the name, email, phone number, quantity, and total. So that just kind of gives you an opportunity to print off some order forms for the participants to keep track of their orders from their supporters. And, similar to the catalog, which again, you may be doing this in conjunction with it at the same time. So you're basically going to try to give them 2 weeks to conduct the fundraiser. Best to try to add 2 weekends in there so that the families have more time to think about what they're doing, share the product, get those orders, and talk about what the company or the group's mission is. Why are they doing this? Okay, and one of the neat things about the custom label fundraiser, and I kind of mentioned that at the top of the call, that for the sorority, we're going to have a booth out at family weekend at the college. And so we'll already have this product ordered and we'll have it right there. So people can purchase it and go. It's not taking orders. It's not trying to get with them later to deliver it, and we always know, especially those that do vendor shows, when you have product on hand, they can see it, they can smell it, they can get excited about it, especially if it's something that pertains to the mission. They're going to get more excited about buying right then and there. So that's kind of the fun thing about the custom labels, is having it there with you, not taking orders. So now for determining the custom label pricing. So just like with the catalog, we talked about that the pricing may vary a little bit dependent upon your location, because your sales tax and shipping is going to be different. So in the example that I had used last month, I used like $26 per jar. Now with the custom label, it's going to be about 27. And remember, then that includes the product, the shipping, the sales tax, and then the profit that goes to the distributor and the profit that goes to the organization. So that's the total cost. That's the retail that the participants will be selling the jars for. And again, try to round that off. I mean, mine actually comes to like 27.40 or something, 27.25. Well, I don't want to do that. I just want to round it off, either round it down or round it up so that you have a nice even number. So it makes it easier for the participants just to say, yeah, it's $27. That's it. Instead of saying, well, the jar itself is $23.95, but then we've got to add sales tax and then we got to add shipping. Don't make it complicated for your participants. Simple, simple, $27 even. And so I did this example here. And again, it's just an estimated example. Most areas are going to sell anywhere between 27, maybe those that are on the East Coast and don't have as much shipping fees, maybe you are charging $26. If you're on the West Coast and you've got more, maybe you're at 28. If you're in a higher tax area like I am, you know, I might be a little more than a less taxed area. But you figure that the range is going to be minimum probably 26, but more likely 27 or $28 per jar that they're going to sell it for. And so you can see the breakdown there. And I did it by 12 jars because that is the minimum order. But you can see the wholesale cost, 12 jars at $12.25 is going to be $147. The relabeling fee at $1.25 for 12 jars is $15. Then the shipping and the sales tax, again, those are just estimates and may vary for you. Typically then the distributor is going to make $3. So the 12 jars gives you a profit of $36. And you can kind of fudge with that. If you've got a group that, you know, doesn't think that they can sell it for $27 and, you know, you're willing to take $1 off of your profit because it's just something that you really want to do. And we know that once you kind of get into a group and they get to know the product and get to know you, there's that potential for future fundraisers, the potential for more customers from the supporters that have bought from the fundraiser. So there's always more potential. So if you don't have to take $3, it may be a situation where maybe you would be taking a little bit less, but we want to try to stick to the $8 per jar for the organization. Again, they're trying to raise funds. And if they see that, you know, the catalog fundraiser makes them $8 per jar, but the custom label, you know, only makes them, you know, $5, $6, plus the fact that they have to come up with the money up front, then it's not going to be as enticing for them to want to do a custom label. So profit for the organization is going to be the same. Okay, so the total retail cost then for the 12 jars on that first order is about $327 or approximately $27 per jar. And, you know, we talked about how you should know what your sales tax in your area. You're going to include any, you know, city, county, state taxes. So basically when you go to the store, what's your sales tax in your area? That's what you're going to use. Okay, and then the shipping, it's going to ship to you most likely. There may be situations where you may ship the product directly to an out-of-state coordinator, a group. So the shipping is always going to be to the location that you're shipping to, not necessarily yours. But the way that you can kind of estimate that, again, is you go in your back office and just do a mock order of 12 jars. Obviously, don't complete the order, just get an idea of how much the shipping is and then divide that by 12 and figure out that, you know, it's probably anywhere from $1 to $1.50 to $1.75 per jar for shipping. So just get a rough estimate. You aren't going to know exactly what the shipping is because, and this one will be a little bit easier because you do order the product up front. So you know if you're going to order 12 jars, 24 jars, you know, 72 jars. So that helps a little bit versus the catalog where you really don't know how many orders that the, you know, participants are going to be bringing in, but you have to give them some numbers up front. So this is a little bit easier because they're going to be purchasing the product. So you should be able to zone in pretty tight to what the costs are going to be. So they're going to be collecting the fees from the customer. They would have already, you know, paid you for the product. And you can either, you know, kind of deliver it to them. Like we're going to try to do at least one order 12 jars up front quickly and get that into the sorority meetings so that all of the girls and the committee leaders will start to see the custom label well before the event. So hopefully we're, generating interest and maybe already some orders, and then maybe we can get a better idea of, how many more 12 jars, how many cases do we have to order beyond that, because they've been able to kind of see it and experience it. Always when doing fundraisers, it is best to be a monthly bundle or an auto ship, because you're getting the deepest discounts. There's not a whole lot of profit on fundraisers for the distributor. So if you are an associate, you are paying more for product, which is definitely going to cut into any profit for yourself. And then, when you've ordered, the brochures or order forms, or maybe you've purchased some envelopes or something. So all of that is a business write-off, and that helps. You need that when you're making money. You need to have some write-offs. So don't get upset that, oh, but I spent money on these brochures. Well, yeah, you did, and it did, maybe hit the profit a little bit, but you're going to be able to, write that off. And then here's just an example of how, actually it was a couple years ago when my daughter was at the dance studio, how I gave a free candle, a gift away, and how it just kind of snowballed into a custom label, which, snowballed into a catalog fundraiser. And then, all right, so we got 10 minutes left here. So we're doing good on time. And then, the parents were exposed to it and thought, oh, well, now I've got a school that we're working. I'm on the PTO and we need to raise funds. So one idea just opened up more ideas, which opened up more. And I ended up, from a free candle, ended up making money with multiple, fundraisers. And then just like the catalog we talked about, you want to, at the completion, be sure to thank the group, write them out a letter, thanking them for the opportunity to, help them raise funds. And, maybe ask if they're really satisfied, if you could get a testimonial from them so that you can use that in your next one. And any future orders, whether it's within weeks, months, or, next year, they can certainly do that with the exact same label. Their design will be kept on file, and they don't need to do that again. If they want to come up with something new and different for the next year, they can certainly, do that as well. But that is basically how you do it. Now in the back office, like right now, is the winter fall catalogs, scent samples. Now in the spring, it'll change to the spring and summer. So some of the examples that I have here on the sites, obviously you would need to update, and you can find that in your back office or on the Bell Builders Facebook group, or on our Light Your Dream. You'll find some of those newer documents as they become available. So it's fun. It's fun to do those custom labels. It's such a unique, exciting thing, and then they do tend to keep them as a momentum. So a memento with the dance studio. I mean, we still have that jar. We didn't burn it. We kept it for remembering the years that she spent, at that dance studio. So it's something that we keep and have on one of our shelves and remember that. So maybe they'll burn them, maybe they won't, but they'll have them as a memory of their time with that organization, whether it's, them as a participant of something like a dance studio, a cheer team, something like that, or whether it's, supporters that are helping to try to raise funds for, some of the rescue groups out there, and, doing cute little custom labels with puppies. This weekend, we saw a couple of such cute little puppies that came from, I think it was Kentucky, a rescue. So those groups need money to bring those puppies up to the state, to Minnesota here, to find new families and foster them. So that is basically a custom label fundraiser. Again, it's under the fundraising tab. So Allison, we've probably got about 5-6 minutes here. I'll open it up to you if you want to add anything else.
Well, I think it was very good. Thank you. Sometimes I get a little confused on the numbers and stuff with the custom. I've only done custom labels 2 times. And those were, like, for instance, I did one for my daughter's wedding. She wanted gifts for her whole wedding party. So we did the custom labels for that. It wasn't a fundraiser. I've never personally done a custom label fundraiser. But I have two fundraisers running now. One's a dance studio, and the other one is a cheerleading group for a college, the next town over. And just got an email back from a lady tonight. She said she's got a dance studio. She wants information. I try to contact 2 groups a day, 5 days a week. And I've got a couple rescue, animal rescues that are interested. They wanted information. The band director at the local high school is very interested. And he's got a big band group there that they're always looking for money, you know, for their band. And so there's quite a few people that are getting back to me. I've had some of them say, oh, we have our fall fundraising already started, but we'll keep you in mind for the spring. So I'm going to
Yeah.
be sure to follow up with them, you know, and share the spring summer sense later on.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I need to do is get a better system.
Well, yeah, you accumulate quite a bit of contacts now. So yeah, I think once you get a system down, you know what step I'm going to do this first. And then if they say, yes, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to send. This is the letter. It just becomes a system. Yeah. Then you can whip through it pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, a system as far as who I've contacted. Now, I ended up breaking them down. I've just been using a notebook. Okay. So I've been breaking them down by the towns that I'm contacting. So this is my town. These are all the places I contact. Anytime I highlight, I know I sent out information. So these are the different towns in my area. And I've been keeping it that way. So I know which, you know, who I've contacted, not only in my town, my city, but the surrounding area. Because you really got to kind of keep track of the different areas that you're reaching out to. And like I said, and then I highlight, then I write, and then once a week I'll go back in and I'll follow up with my highlighted ones. I'll make my notes underneath. I need to get kind of a better system than this, but this is what's working for me right now, is
Yeah.
just keeping track of it this way.
Awesome. Yeah. It doesn't need to be an Excel sheet. It doesn't need to be any fancy kind of order form. Just, yeah, pen and paper, whatever works for you to keep track of what you have done and what you need to do. Because you certainly don't want to fall down with following through of somebody that did say, yeah, I do have some interest. You know, again, you're the professional. So you've got to keep on top of things and reaching out to them. And, you know, if they have questions, you're going to help them. If you have questions, then yeah, Allison and I are here to help you do it. And, you know, and as we said, sometimes all of this on the surface seems really simple. Okay, that makes sense. Until you start getting into doing one yourself and they start asking you questions and you might not be real familiar. There's nothing wrong with going to the Facebook group and asking, you know, posting your questions there. Call me, call Allison. We'll work through the numbers, figure out, you know, what is your sales tax? What is your shipping? What is the number that you should give to the group as a, you know, potential retail total that they'll be selling them for. But, you know, basically they're going to give you the cost of the jars, and then they're going to keep their profit. So $8 of however many jars that they've ordered is going to, you know, be kept by.
I just closed one out. It was an individual, and the mom and the daughters are raising money for a mission trip. So it was an individual fundraiser. They were able to earn $250 toward their mission trip, and they were thrilled, just thrilled. And it was so nice to be able to help them, you know. So, you know, they didn't think they would be able to make that much money, but they did. And, you know, I just love helping people. And she was so thankful, you know, that she was able to come up with the $250 just from, you know, selling a few candles.
Yes, that is huge. You know, a lot of these, yeah, whether it's sports or, you
I
know,
mean, you can help, you know, like somebody, you know, that is sick, you know, or you can help people with, you know, with special needs, that they need money, you know, for whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a big organization or group
No.
either. You know, it could be just, like I said, one or two people, you know.
Right. Right. And that's the one thing too. I don't want people to get discouraged by going out immediately and trying to hook up the high school band of 200 kids and then not get it, you know, because they are kind of ingrained with what they've done. They've already planned it well in advance of the fall. Not that you can't get to that point, but yeah, start with some of the smaller groups that,
Mhm.
you know, that we've mentioned that people probably never would have thought of for doing a fundraiser. You know, and as we've said before, as you're driving around town and you're seeing things, you know, have a little notepad in the car with you and go, oh, that's somebody I want to contact. And then put it on your list and try to do that, you know, 2 a day. Well, we are down to the time to finish up. So I will, once this is all downloaded, I'll put it up on the training site and I will put the recording actually on this page. So you should be able to get all of the information and watch the video and then ask questions. And I'm so excited to see the efforts that everybody's putting into fundraising and then the results that we're going to start seeing. So I'm excited. So everybody keep sharing. All right. Well, everybody have a good night. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kathy. Bye, everybody.